Right. Kobe Bryant has 5 championships. He has been on the NBA first team 11 times, and he's been to 18 All-Star games. He's third in all-time regular season and postseason scoring, and he has higher points per game than both Karl Malone and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In fact, the only other people in the top 10 who have higher points per game are Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. He also scored 81 points in a single game. His team was getting blown out, and he single-handedly took over and won that game. Earlier the same season, he scored 62 points in the first 3 quarters of a game and sat the whole fourth because they were winning by so much. You would really, really have to watch Kobe in his prime to understand why he is so great. It is very hard to understand if you just look at his stats. Sure, stats are important, but they don't define a player. In his prime, Kobe was virtually unguardable, and he was able to stop almost any opposing guard on the defensive end. There's only one player who has had his combination of scoring versatility and defensive skills, and that player is Michael Jordan. One more great aspect of Kobe's game is his fundamentals. They are absolutely impeccable. A lot of people love to hate on Kobe, but it's funny because the majority of people who think and say things like Kobe's overrated have ever barely seen him play. Kobe is actually a pretty efficient scorer with a career true shooting percentage of 55.3%. The average line here is about 52.5%, so Kobe is a little bit above average. He's not posting insane efficiency, but he's doing well enough that it is not the most problematic thing. This is also something that requires some context. Kobe has played on some absolutely god-awful teams, and he has led them to success. Usually, Kobe Bryant has one elite big man, which were Shaq and Pau Gasol, and then most of his other players are role players who can't contribute to anything. This leads to offensive situations where Kobe is forced to make a play when it really matters. Kobe's passion is unrivaled and is often compared to Michael Jordan. Regardless of who you're trying to compare his level of passion to, everyone can recognize his passion for the game. It's there night in and night out. He generally wants to go out every night and win. Everyone says he's one of the most competitive players of all time, and he does not like to lose. He will do anything to win. And the only way he knows how to do this is to score, which is what he does best. I think it's fair to say his work ethic is so highly regarded that people understand why he is so good, but think he is an absolute maniac on how much work he puts in. He spent 20 years with the Lakers, and during those 20 years, he had amazing times, and he also stuck with the really bad teams. When you add all of these things together, along with his accolades and accomplishments that I have listed, it is not unfair to say that he is rated so highly amongst NBA greats. The moment Kobe Bryant announced his retirement, he chose these 2 sentences to define his 20 years in Los Angeles, bannering them on the homepage of his website, explaining them in a box of text. No hero is perfect, and no villain is completely void of heroic intentions. We all live as both. What sets the great ones apart is how you use your inner villain to create something epic. It's living it's living as a hero villain. The hero villain channels fear, rejection, anger, and doubt and turns them into strength, courage, power, and determination. That seems like a lot coming from a player who plays a game with the ball in a hoop, but it perfectly details the paradox that was Kobe Bryant as he carried Los Angeles through 5 NBA championships and countless moments of chaos. Sometimes fans couldn't stand him. The only place where Kobe Bryant's hero villain never tread was the middle ground, accounting for what is arguably the most memorable 20 years between a team and a town and a player. So ultimately, what was he, hero or villain? It is the biggest question of the Kobe era. It is also the one that will ultimately remain unanswered, even though he has left plenty of clues. He was a hero in the spring of 2000 when he threw an alley-oop pass to teammate Shaquille O'Neal to clinch the memorable comeback from a 15-point deficit against the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, which ultimately led to an NBA championship. He was a hero in the spring of 2001 when he led the Lakers to a 15-1 record in the playoffs en route to their second overall championship, causing even O'Neal to begrudgingly declare him as the best player in the league. He was a hero in 2002 when he overcame a bout of food poisoning suffered in a Sacramento hotel to help lead the Lakers to a Game 7 victory over the Kings in the Western Conference Finals en route to their third consecutive NBA title. He was a hero in 2009 and 2010 when he proved he could win an NBA title, two of them without Shaquille O'Neal. The lasting image of those titles occurred after the 2010 Finals victory over the Boston Celtics. After a dramatic Game 7 victory with Bryant standing on the Staples Center press table, with arms raised as confetti fell from the rafters on him. He was a hero when he hobbled to the foul line and made his 2 free throw attempts after rupturing his Achilles. He was a hero when he scored 60 points in his final NBA game, which is the most points scored by any player in their final game. It is time now for Los Angeles and the world to finally let Kobe Bryant go. Goodbye, hero. Farewell, villain.